Have you ever believed that setting boundaries would save a relationship, only to watch it blow everything apart instead? Let me take you through how I learned the brutal difference between asking for space and giving someone the freedom to forget you. My name's Natalie. I'm 27. And a year ago, I watched a 5-year relationship dissolve like it meant nothing, because my boyfriend couldn't handle the fact that I was no longer the girl who needed his constant reassurance. Had grown, and he hadn't. We met young college sweethearts, first loves, the kind of relationship that becomes part of your identity. For 2 years we shared an apartment, split bills, and made plans for the future. Felt solid, real. But apparently to Damien, stability was suffocating. It started small. Me wanting to spend more time with my girlfriends again. After years of skipping girls' nights to stay home and nurture the relationship, I began going out for weekend brunches, movie nights, happy hours. Innocent stuff. But to Damien, it was the beginning of betrayal. His job drained him. Long hours at a corporate office, miserable every day. So when I'd come home laughing from a night out, he looked at me like I'd committed a crime. Who was there? What time did you leave? Why didn't you check in? First I tried to be understanding. Then I realized he wasn't concerned. He was controlling. Sneaking looks at my phone. Asking passive-aggressive questions. Sulking in silence when I left. One night, I came home from dinner with friends and found him sitting in the dark like a movie villain. He grilled me about the whole evening. Every name, every minute, every conversation. I told him he was being paranoid. That I needed him to trust me. But Damien didn't want trust. He wanted control. When I pushed back, told him his jealousy was becoming exhausting, it triggered a meltdown. He asked if I was still happy in the relationship. It wasn't just a question. It was a test. And I failed. I told him I was. But not if it meant being smothered. I reminded him I'd been loyal, patient, loving. I told him he was becoming insecure and needy. And maybe I said it a little too bluntly. But it was the truth. He demanded we resolve things immediately. That's his way. Talk everything into the ground until he feels better, no matter how emotionally drained I am. So I did something I'd never done before. Asked for space. I told him I needed time to breathe, to think, to reflect. That I wasn't leaving, just stepping back. I needed to understand if this was still the relationship I wanted. And he panicked. He texted. Begged. Asked for timelines. Asked what space meant, how long, what rules applied. I told him I wasn't playing games. I needed to be alone with my thoughts. For 30 days I held that boundary. I didn't respond. I deleted messages. Focused on me. The silence was refreshing. Peaceful. For once, I wasn't being monitored. Could just exist. My friends cheered me on. I went dancing, laughed, lived. I even met Marcus. A sweet guy who made me feel seen instead of managed. Nothing serious but eye-opening. He reminded me that independence wasn't something I had to apologize for. Meanwhile, Damien spiraled. The first week, constant texts. By the third, only occasional ones. And by the end, silence. When I was finally ready, emotionally steady, clear about what I wanted, I sent a message. Hey, I think we should talk. His reply shattered me. I've moved on. I'm seeing someone now. Her name's Naomi. I called him instantly, heart racing. I asked what he meant. And with a voice so cold and calm he said, "You stopped communicating." That ended things for me. I reminded him I said I needed space. Not a breakup. He said ghosting someone for a month isn't space. It's abandonment. Then came the dagger. Naomi listened. She didn't play games. She was there when you weren't. She'd been there for weeks. While I was giving him time to reflect and grow, he was starting something new. With a coworker. With someone I didn't even know existed. I felt betrayed. Gaslit. Discarded. So I tried to fight for us. I showed up at his office. He refused to see me. I wrote him a long, vulnerable letter and left it on his car. With his favorite cookies. Nothing. I checked his socials and there they were. hiking, laughing, smiling. In the same places we used to go. He wasn't hurting. He was thriving. And I. Broke. I started posting more. Looking good, showing confidence. Reconnecting with Marcus. Showing Damien what he'd lost. But nothing got through. He was gone. By the time I saw them in that coffee shop, Naomi's hand on his arm, Damien smiling like a different man, I knew. He hadn't just moved on. He'd replaced me. Effortlessly. 6 months later I was spiraling. Things with Marcus ended. He said I was still hung up on Damien. Probably true. I tried dating again, but guys wanted some soft-spoken, docile woman. The moment I showed independence, they ghosted. Work imploded too. I got labeled difficult after calling out a toxic colleague in a meeting. My assertiveness was suddenly a liability. Got fired. And then came the worst blow. Damien and Naomi got engaged. After barely a year. Everyone cheered for their perfect love story, while I sat in my parents' house, jobless, scrolling through their engagement photos. In a moment of desperation, I left a comment on the venue's page. Something snarky. Honest. I thought I was warning others. But Damien got a restraining order over it. That one decision wrecked everything. Legal bills. Job searches that led nowhere thanks to court records. Friends pulling away. My own parents asking, "What did you do to drive him away?" So here I am. 58. Alone. Discredited. All because I dared to ask for time to breathe. All because I thought a man would wait. All because I believed space meant strength, not abandonment. And the cruelest part. He didn't leave because I changed. He left because I grew. Have you ever been punished for becoming the strongest version of yourself? 'Cause I have. And the scars still burn.